Prior to our interview, I've briefly discussed with Liam what exactly the digital divide is. He has a relative idea of what the digital divide entails and is going to give us his insight on the subject relative to his education thus far. Haley, can you please introduce yourself and where you have gone to school so far?
Hi, my name is Liam Kellogg. I'm from Wisconsin here. Pretty average guy, just like to play sports, football, basketball, stuff like that. I went to grade school at Hawley Environmental School, went to middle school at Roosevelt Middle School of the Arts, and high school at Rufus King. And currently I go to the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire.
All right, awesome. So Liam, have you attending public schools your entire life? You're going to be a representative for public schools, unlike myself when I was representing the difference of the digital divide in private schooling. So since we have discussed what the digital divide is, where did you see, where and when and how did you see this gap in grade school and middle school?
Well, during grade school, the gap isn't as much obvious to people because you're young and you don't notice it. But I think now that I'm older and paying more attention to it, I definitely notice it more. When I was younger, I can definitely remember that many students in my classroom did not have computers at home, and when we would hang out at my house, one of the first things that people wanted to do was play computer games since we weren't allowed to do that on the school computers when they were available, so yeah.
Okay. And did you see the digital divide like in high school as well?
Not so much in high school. A lot more kids did computers, and since Rufus King is a more challenging MPS high school, a lot of teachers held their students to higher standards, like having things typed and whatnot. But I don't know, like a lot of kids didn't have computers, and so I mean, other than using the crowded library before and after school to get work done, which is mostly what I did, I think that is the gist of the digital divide in high school.
Okay. And do you think it's a good idea for schools to have computers then if like kids are using them in the library?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without computers, I think some of the kids would not have been able to type or even write certain reports or, even still like get a good grade on them. It's a definite necessity in this day and age, I think.
Okay, awesome. And how about like social media sites? How did students in high school use those?
I'd say like a lot of students have Facebooks and stuff, but nothing like how our friends used them. We use them as a main way of communication, but kids at King didn't really keep them up to date as like us and our friends did. So, yeah.
Yeah. And do you see this divide in college or no?
No, not at all. I would say that it's very few and far between here. All the students have computers, mainly laptops. It's just super easy to go to the library and plot them out, so it's kind of weird to see someone who doesn't have a computer slash doesn't know how to use one these days.
Okay. And but do you think that's because like the college level you need to have it requires a laptop, or do you think it could be like a lack of diversity compared to like Eau Claire and Rufus King?
I haven't really thought about it as much, I guess, but I guess Eau Claire isn't as diverse as King. Sure, it's definitely not as diverse as King, which may play a role in it, but honestly, I feel like you need a computer now to pass a college course because a lot of teachers place reading grades and homework online, so most definitely.
Okay, thank you so much, Lee. You've really been a great help.
Yeah, no problem, anytime.